Welcome to the BCS Itera webinar, and I'm really glad that despite the difficult circumstances, there are listeners, and of course, I hope that all are in good health. Coming today's topic, as promised, we are talking about ERP software trends, of which I will try to point out the biggest and most important ones. Before we talk about trends, we cannot ignore the role of technology in our business. And I don't want to take advantage of today's virus situation, but this is a perfect example of the competitive advantage that automation and different cloud solutions and electronic teamwork provide. That is also why we are here today as speakers and listeners exchanging ideas about technology, more specifically business software. Whoever understands the role of technology perhaps best when there is no electricity. Basically, our businesses runs against the wall. And it brings us to the next slide, where are some thoughts of our good customer, who is listed in Nasdaq stock exchange, and its food manufacturing company BR Foods. And its company manager Indra Kasala had some excellent thoughts in previous Business IT magazine, where he summarized the topic very nicely. And the main thought was that every company should work like IT company that produce fish, not like the food industry which use IT. And I think it's really great idea to illustrate the paradigm shift in today's business environment. Take away computers and technology, and what we have left of the company, nothing. Or second sentence, that there are two main things that help a company succeed: the availability and ability to use information. A third sentence, that without proper IT base, it is not possible to manage any companies today. It is not a supporting service, but in addition to people, the most important part of the company's architecture. And it brings us to the situation where all machines are more or less the same in every company, or the buildings. And position and the use of information is what separates the successful from the less successful. But let's come to today's main topic, trends. Reuters recently conducted a fairly wide study in which the supply chain managers of 601 of the world's largest companies answered various questions. The questions were divided into 4 groups. First, general changes in the economic environment and expectations. Second, changes and trends in trade relations, especially e-commerce. Third was labor market trends, such as finding and retaining talents. And fourth, digitalization, which is our issue today. The biggest trends are definitely continuous automation and the digitalization of entire supply chain. One of the questions that was asked, and which can answer in our thoughts today, is that thinking about your organization supply chain and future developments and investment, how confident are you in its ability and readiness to be successful in an increasing digitalization by 2025? This is how answers divided. And I would say that the picture is not very bad, as half of the companies answered that they were more or less ready. However, this is definitely bad for those who stay on the other side and whose competitiveness will probably decrease significantly as time goes on. And in addition, they were asked, what technology do you think will have the biggest impact of the industry in the next 5 years? The list was actually much longer, but these are the most highlighted technologies. And to simplify the picture, I grouped the 7 largest. The first is AI or machine learning. The second is predictive analytics, Internet of Things, warehouse automation. One interesting technological factor is the blockchain, actually, because it's relatively new, and then cloud logistics. And we will look also and talk about several of them on later slides. As we become more specific, let's move to the ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning. I don't know how many today's listeners are considering or looking after a new solution, but the next one could be so-called checklist, based on which to create your own short list, or maybe it would be better to say shopping list. In other words, we look at the technologies that should be part of every modern ERP solution. And once again, you can ask the question if there is. Here is a summary of the recent article from Finance Source that dives deeper into trends, and I would focus on some of them. We will not dwell here really longer, but we will deal in more details with most of them later stage. One thing to bring out from the study is that many companies today are planning to move so-called intelligent ERP, as they understand its importance and maintaining their competitiveness. And this is definitely a reason to look at your own solution as well. What is its capacity in the long run? So let's take a closer look of some important keywords or trends. And first, I would bring out the cloud. Companies that specifically lack the capability today are likely to be in trouble. This is an unshakable trend. So today, most of medium and large companies and our customers, if you're talking more precisely, not to mention small ones, are moving to the cloud. Why? What are the winnings? I work where I am. It's probably resonates the most clearly to all of us in today's situation. It certainly speeds up all business processes and make it much, much more dynamic. We can forget servers, the need to buy a box and build premises for that. It's not the case anymore. It's really old-fashioned. Or the whole ERP world is moving. Or would it be better to say moved to the cloud on the principle of click and go? There is no situation in the cloud where there is not enough memory or CPU. Just click and go, and you have all the unlimited performance you need. At least in Microsoft Azure is the case. Innovation or modernity is definitely an important part of cloud solution. At least those of Microsoft are constantly being updated to the latest technology. The problem with our own servers is that they are already old from the moment you purchase. In addition, of course, companies that are in a very rapid growth and the need are changing day by day, the cloud is actually the only reasonable solution. Example, we have one customer, it's billion worth international enterprise. In other words, a unicorn, name is TransferWise. I don't know, maybe you have heard about it. They started with a few dozen people, and today they have several hundred, and in a relatively short time. So it wouldn't have been possible for any IT manager to buy daily a new boxes or memories. So rapidly changing needs creates definitely the case to have cloud solution. Mobility, anytime, anywhere. It's not just a question of mobile devices, but also about the ability to work from anywhere and anytime. One issue is change of our behavioral habits. What is perhaps more important, however, are all kinds of applications which essentially make life easier, processes faster, and your company much more dynamic. For example, approvals of confirmation circles, or example, if it's necessary to increase the credit limit of for a customer or confirm the purchase order, just boom, and you have it. Or workflows, when one person has finished his job, the next will receive an automatic notification and they can start with their job. Or entering sales orders in the field, finding contacts and syncing with Outlook, not to mention reporting and analytics through mobile devices. You can also find from the screen some of the victories that set the tone in international articles. Many of them are similar to what I have already mentioned, like instant access, better and faster workflow, faster customer service, informed and faster decision making, higher productivity, value-added communication, access to the business and commercial information. These are things and definitely connected to mobility. So this is really the trend you should look after when you choose new ERP system. Artificial intelligence or machine learning. I guess it's safe to say that the field receiving currently the most investments and is most developed field by major technology companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Alibaba, and so on. This is an area that is also coming very, very fast to the most innovative ERP solutions. And the main possibilities are and will be to perform simple tasks like data processing, making connections, etc. Speaking of Business Central, Microsoft has brought into capabilities to business software through artificial intelligence Cortana. Anyway, considering the long term, it is definitely important to take this into account, especially when choosing ERP. I'm not going to into details at the moment because in the next week webinar we will demo actual features. But some examples you can see in the screen, like cash flow forecast, product and inventory planning, customer credit analysis, text and picture recognition, and so on. It's really cool stuff. And if you want to be updated and innovative solution, then this is something we're looking after. A few years ago, I think it was Oxford Business Reviews who predicted that by 2030, more than 50% of orders will be made by machines. So it's certainly coming into other areas very fastly as well. I don't know, and I don't want actually to think about the IoT only as a devices interact with software in one way or another. I think this is a much wider topic and in important capability when we talk about supply chain optimization. As you remember from previous slides, leading companies consider this to be one of the most important trends in digitalization. In a recent Business IT magazine, I also wrote an article about a few customers who have partially or completely digitalized their supply chain. One of the best examples is the Estonian Pandipaken, where we have automated practically the entire supply chain. This company organizing the recycling of packagings marketed by producers, importers and traders, and they administrating and organizing of collection, transfer, sorting, counting and recycling of deposit subject packagings in all over Estonia. So what's going on in the picture? Basically, where vendor or manufacturer insert information to the web page, then it's going directly to the Eesti Pandipaken ERP system. As well, it is connected to the vending machines, and it's going automatically to there as well, and as well to the production lines. So basically, we cut away all human error and man labor from there. So, and the biggest win is definitely the saving of thousands of man hours. This one is, in my mind, one of the most important trends, and it is fundamental change in the technological paradigm, and it is transition to apps. Let me explain a bit what this means in the simple language. Classically, many ERPs still have a technology where the customer has a special request or change request, then then it is developed into the solution. And if there is second request, the same deal. And as long as there are change requests and customization needs, everything is written in the solution. What happens in the first place is that the solution is constantly growing. It might be even a crazy story as well, be often seen that the partner doesn't does not do proper documentation, and in the end, no one will remember how, what, and why some customizations were done. And when a new version comes, all these special requests must be renegotiated and redeveloped and so on, which eventually make the implementation of new version expensive and complicated, and which in turn makes it difficult to go on with innovation and keep up with new opportunities and functionalities. However, the Dynamics 365 Business Central example is based on the app technology, which means that in Business Central, you go on Microsoft App Source and you can find the extra functionality that suits for you. Download it, and in seconds you are there. You just have it. It's really similar to the phone user experience, that you just download apps, and if you don't use it or you don't need it, just boom, you unsubscribe. The illustrative image look like this. What this gives to you is that, first of all, you can always simply give up when you no longer use download the functionality. There is clear overview of all special solutions, and in the end, you always have the latest and most recent version without having to redevelop all the apps. And in addition, we also make all customer special requests as apps, which also gives all the above named advantages. So just to repeat, click and go fast. You just get new functionality as you need. You have latest, most innovative versions. Everything happening fast, and still special needs are covered, but still made as apps. So it's really, really perfect. As a separate additional topic here is integration with Microsoft new technology, Power Apps, which allows, as Microsoft says, to develop apps without being developer. Well, for example, entering working time or compiling a maintenance report or something like this. I won't stop here for a long time, but later everyone can find out more about it on the links on the picture when we download it into the YouTube. So you can just listen and read. Power Apps community is also a pretty good site where you can ask for advice, read other people's experience, and get ideas if needed. Microsoft ecosystem, this already seems like a hygiene factor, but it's still a capability that comes up as an issue from all our new customers, basically all new customers. Today, we are simply so connected to the Microsoft Office software, so it's crucial that the solution is able to communicate seamlessly with these tools and really working. Here are a few examples from Business Central. Again, at next week's seminar, we will already show in practice how everything works. But first of all, Excel. Business Central offers two-way communication, which allows you to transfer data tables to Excel, make changes there, and already load them smoothly back into the ERP. Or to make example, Power Pivots analysis in Excel. Second important tool is integration with Outlook. You can open the ERP already in Outlook. Find the necessary contacts here, example, and see the depths of the contact, transition history, open the order, or example, if he has sent you email, you can reply and ask immediately how are the depths. Ask, do I send open order to you? In addition, there is already mentioned text recognition. Example, if your customer send you email, the AI finds similar product names, quantities, and automatically creates an offer if needed. So it's really powerful tool. And finally, Power BI, business analytic capabilities. According to the research company Gartner, it has become the world's leading platform. And the user can easily create the necessary reports and import them into the Business Central. So you have everything in your user interface. And finally, I would like also to talk a bit about the bigger picture of modern ERP system. Here is one article and later on picture about construction trends from the World Economic Forum. We aren't focusing at the moment to the construction, but the same picture could be drawn basically from trade, infrastructure, or production, or whatsoever. Whatever the technological trends are in one area or another, the foundation is modern ERP, which unites all technological aspects and combine into the single system. So this could be called the biggest trend ever, that ERP must have industry-specific process supporting functionality, and secondly, the capability to integrate wide range of devices and various applications. Whatever automation and digitalization trends there are in your industry, you need proper modern ERP solution beneath it. So it's crucial that ERP offers a convenient integration options, and it is easy to maintain. It means app technology, we just talked about. And finally, here is the same idea in another picture. The modern ERP is not just your company solution, but in perfect world, it integrates suppliers, transportation partners, devices, employees, customers, and state, and probably many more things, but is not shown here in the picture. And basically, that's our checklist. And I just in final slide repeat it. It's cloud, mobility, artificial intelligence or machine learning, app technology, and Microsoft ecosystem. This is definitely the list you should demand from every ERP you planning to purchase or consider to have it. So thank you for listening, and see you in next time. And if you have any interest, just you can find us from BCS Itera.fi or itera.ee. Thank you very much. Bye.